way that she played to win, directed traffic, hit every ball, just so impressive, Kevin.
Aryna saying something in frustration, which one fan through lip reading interpreted as once a year even a stick shoots. So this apparently is a Russian idiom, which essentially means the same thing as even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while. Sabalenka was frustrated talking about now this incident with Rybakina. I think Aryna was frustrated that Elena struggled with winning a big title for over 2.5 years.
Rybakina is all fired up after her win against Sabalenka. She took the victory loud and clear, but Sabalenka wasn't thrilled about the idea that someone else got to take the top spot instead of her. While reflecting on the loss, Sabalenka seemed pretty devastated, and in her frustration, she made a comment that tried to trivialize the idea of Rybakina's talent, likening her to a blind squirrel who just got lucky. Rybakina, however, didn't directly address the comment. She simply shrugged it off, making it clear that she didn't care about what Sabalenka said. She stayed grounded and moved forward, letting the controversy linger in the background. But before we dive deeper into what might really be going on behind the scenes after the WTA finals, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like the video so you never miss any of our latest updates.
It's mostly about the technique and how to get maximum. Since I'm also tall, I have enough kills to push. So yeah, it's just all about the right momentum and using the whole body.
Rybakina didn't hold back when addressing the matter with Sabalenka. In her interview, she firmly stated that her victory wasn't just a fluke. She knew exactly what she was doing. She executed her game plan to perfection. When talking about Sabalenka's comments, Rybakina made it clear that it wasn't just a case of having a good day. She had the technique and physicality to stay in the game, and she proved it by overcoming Sabalenka's strategies with her own precise techniques. On the other hand, Aryna Sabalenka struggled to hold back tears after her defeat to Elena Rybakina in the WTA final. Entering the match with strong confidence, Sabalenka believed she would come out victorious. However, Rybakina had different plans, dominating the first 2 sets and leaving Sabalenka with little room to recover. As the match progressed, Sabalenka's emotions overwhelmed her, and she broke down in tears. The emotional display caught the attention of everyone watching, highlighting the intensity of the loss for Sabalenka, who had come so close but ultimately fell short against Rybakina's powerful performance. After the match, Aryna Sabalenka took the microphone and became emotional, shedding tears as she spoke. She tried to explain it by saying she was becoming more sensitive with age, but it was clear that the issue ran deeper. It wasn't just about emotions. It seemed more like a plea for attention, and that tactic isn't working anymore, especially after the WTA finals. The truth about Sabalenka's character became more apparent. She's not the calm, peace-loving personality she often portrays. Instead, her jealousy over others' success has surfaced, causing frustration and even tension within her own team. Rybakina is aware of this, and she's now openly mocking Sabalenka, who has become the laughingstock of the WTA. As for the match itself, it was an exciting showdown, with Elena Rybakina asserting her dominance on the court from start to finish. Unlike her previous encounter with Coco, where Sabalenka tried to use intimidation and loud tactics, Rybakina remained unshaken. She displayed remarkable mental resilience, refusing to let Sabalenka's strategies get to her. In the first set, Sabalenka attempted to control the match, but Rybakina stayed composed, consistently winning points and taking a commanding lead. This marked a turning point for Sabalenka, as the mounting mental pressure became too much, and she struggled to handle Rybakina's relentless play. It was evident. Rybakina wasn't going to let this opportunity slip away. Rybakina played with unshakable confidence, while Sabalenka's frustration grew as the match continued. She tried repeatedly to take control, but it was clear from the start that it wouldn't be easy, especially against an opponent who was excelling through pure mental toughness and composure. After a tense second set, Sabalenka lost her grip during the tiebreaker, unable to hold it together and eventually falling short, completely crushed by the defeat. After the match, Sabalenka's usual theatrics took over. She collapsed in tears on the bench, surrounded by her team, reacting like a child unable to cope with the loss. She grumbled about the match, insisting that she had been wronged, but the reality was clear. Rybakina had outplayed her at every turn. Even in her deepest sorrow, Sabalenka's pride remained intact, and she continued to claim that Rybakina's victory was nothing more than a fluke, though that was clearly untrue. Her frustration was palpable as she struggled to accept that Rybakina was simply the better player. Despite her emotional reaction, the truth was undeniable. Rybakina's performance was far superior, and for Sabalenka, coming to terms with this defeat proved to be incredibly hard. Unable to come to terms with her defeat, Sabalenka took to the podium to address the final. Rather than reflecting on the match or acknowledging Rybakina's exceptional performance, she broke down in tears and tried to explain her emotional reaction by saying she was becoming more sensitive with age. However, these excuses couldn't hide the truth. Sabalenka's jealousy of Rybakina's success was evident. Her attempt to downplay the loss only highlighted her frustration and inability to accept being outplayed with grace. The reality of the situation was clear for everyone watching. It wasn't just the loss, it was her struggle to accept it.
Yeah, I guess I'm getting old. I'm getting really sensitive.
Let's take a closer look at how sensitive Sabalenka really is. During the WTA finals, she had already faced Coco Gauff, and her behavior in that match was anything but sensitive. Sabalenka was aggressive, openly challenging Gauff and showing her disrespect, constantly attempting to intimidate her until she came out on top. If this is Sabalenka's definition of sensitivity, then we've got a real problem. In truth, her actions in that match tell a different story. She wasn't being sensitive, but rather employing tactics to dominate and control her opponent. It's clear that she wasn't being truthful about her emotions. Sabalenka's behavior during her match against Coco Gauff quickly escalated as she started shouting and using intimidation tactics to try to throw Gauff off her game. The situation took a sharp turn when her coach, Anton Dubrov, confronted her on the court, questioning her actions. Rather than staying composed, Sabalenka snapped back at Dubrov, shouting at him in frustration. Things got even more heated when Dubrov, clearly fed up, left his seat in the stands mid-match, visibly expressing his disapproval. This moment drew significant attention, with many criticizing Sabalenka for her disrespect towards Gauff. However, it was Dubrov's bold response that truly exposed the underlying tension between Sabalenka and Gauff.
But yeah, I went a bit too much. I was so frustrated inside of me, and I was just like trying to let it go. Probably I went too far, not probably I went too far. And then honestly, I think it was the right move from him to probably like just let me be on my own. And I don't want to say the way I wanted to say, but he really upset me, and I was really really stressed and angry on him, and that really helped me to pull out such tennis.
In conclusion, it's evident that Sabalenka's pride has become her greatest weakness, and watching her break down after the match serves as a powerful reminder. Pride does indeed come before a fall. Throughout her career, Sabalenka has often relied on her fiery temperament and aggressive tactics to overpower her opponents. In her match against Coco Gauff, those intimidation strategies worked to some degree, but against Aryna Rybakina, they fell flat. Rybakina's dominance on the court wasn't just a result of her skill. It was her composed and grounded demeanor that outshined Sabalenka's emotional outbursts. Sabalenka, on the other hand, failed to maintain control when things didn't go her way. Instead of accepting defeat with grace, she resorted to excuses and emotional breakdowns, showing just how much her pride was bruised by the loss. Her inability to handle defeat with maturity has led many to view her not as a fierce competitor, but as someone who can't cope with the reality of being outplayed. Her breakdowns, while understandable to some extent, only highlight a lack of emotional resilience, and they've drawn more attention to her struggles than her strengths. Rybakina, by contrast, exhibited a calm, collected strength throughout the match, handling the pressure with poise and leaving Sabalenka to wrestle with her own frustrations. While Sabalenka's anger and intimidation tactics may have been effective in some instances, they ultimately did little to affect Rybakina's performance. In the end, It's clear that while Sabalenka may have the power, Rybakina has the mind and the emotional control to dominate. As for Sabalenka, she now risks being remembered as the player who let her pride and emotions define her, rather than as a champion. Do you agree that Rybakina's calm and composed demeanor was a key factor in her victory? Or do you think Sabalenka could have turned things around? Let me know your thoughts. Do you think Sabalenka can bounce back from this? Or has this loss exposed cracks in her mentality? And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want more discussions like this. Stay tuned for the latest updates and analysis.